Hey guys, I know y'all like good news and the market sucks this week, so let's talk about the good news that we do have from Deadline.com. I'll put a link to this article in the video description. First of all, we got Jenna Ortega in talks to join J.J. Abrams' secret movie, also featuring Glenn Powell. Two big names. Of course, yes, this movie is going to be sometime off in the future, not something we get to see in the next quarter or so. But what do we get to see this quarter? Beetlejuice number 2, and they are telling us that Beetlejuice 2 is heading towards a opening weekend of 75 million to 84 million. Guys, this number for opening weekend beats the forecast that I had done a couple months ago for Beetlejuice. It beats my entire domestic run forecast for Beetlejuice. Let me say that again. The opening weekend of Beetlejuice 2 is going to beat my entire forecast for the entire domestic run. This is huge. Huge news. Remember, just about 10 days ago, we were looking at a $700 million Q3. We're now over 1.4 with pretty much 2 entire months still to go in Q3. I have conservatively estimated that Q3 would come in between 2.4 billion and 2.6 billion. There are people that are hoping for 2.7 billion to 3 billion. I don't know if we'll get there, but I promise you, if we get 2.7 billion or higher, I will pop a bottle of champagne and drink it here live with any of you guys that want to participate, because that would be a stellar beat. According to my spreadsheet model, anything over 2.5 billion for Q3 will put AMC in a positive earnings per share for Q3. So please do your part and go watch a movie. Go watch 2. Go watch 3 or 4. There's a lot of great movies out there right now. I know a lot of y'all are pissed off that the professional analysts won't upgrade AMC just yet. Keep in mind, they are doing a professional Wall Street job, and they need to really see a full 12 months forward looking of positive earnings before you can expect them to give the company any price target upgrades. The company also needs to deal with the debt. So while we're not going to get ahead of ourselves on that, having a Q3 and a Q4 being positive earnings is still a step in the right direction and something to be happy about. Let's see if we can get a positive Q3 and Q4, and then we can start looking ahead to Q1 and Q2. Can we pull out 4 positive quarters in a row? That is something to really look forward to. And as you guys and myself are the ones looking at this every single day, we can actually be ahead of the professional analysts in knowing when is the right time to buy, if those sort of things start lining up. Let's finish up by talking about some TA for AMC, because a lot of y'all are writing me and asking, when is the price going to go up? I think that you need to reflect back to what I just said about professional analysts. For Wall Street and big institutions, big money, to get on board and push this price up, they're going to need to have some comfort level that the company has forward annual earnings positive, not just one quarter, a full year positive earnings. That doesn't mean that every quarter needs to be positive. That means that if you look forward 12 months, you're going to have a positive number there for the summation of those next 4 quarters. When we get 4 quarters in a row of positive earnings, or when we add up the next 4 quarters, and that is a positive earnings number, the sum of all 4 quarters, then the next step would be, what is the total earnings? And multiply that times a rational industry PE ratio, say of 20 to 25, and you can get a guess of what price target the analysts are going to assign to AMC at that point. I'll let y'all do the math. I don't want to ruin that for you, but you can do the work. You can estimate what is the earnings going to be over the next 12 months if they're all positive. What is that annual earnings times 20? That's the price target they're going to give. In the meantime, we also still need to be thinking about that 414 million of convertible bonds that are out there, and that's going to act as a bit of a ceiling. So here is what I'm thinking, and I could be wrong, could be right. This is just a conversation. Feel free to drop your comments and your thoughts down below. I'm certainly not saying that I have the absolute answer. I'm not even saying that I'm going to be correct. These are just my thoughts, my analysis, for you guys to comment and think about. We have these demand zones down here in green. We've got the supply zone up above. And that supply zone also coincidentally is right there where that $5.66 on the convertible notes is. Anything above $5.66, we could expect that potentially some of these lenders might convert some of their notes into shares and then sell them into the market as dilution. They're going to lock in some of their profits. And no, I don't think that any of them have converted any of their shares yet. They would have been doing it at a loss. So that makes no sense to me. For the people that are saying that some of the dilution already happened, I do not agree. I did buy some AMC on Monday with that really big dip in the market. I grabbed some at $4.20. I am still holding on to those shares. Look at these zones and look at the play back and forth between there. If there is no major market crash, no major world news, no major market correction that sends us to the floor well below these green trading zones, I think it is realistic to expect that the price is going to be stuck in this zone between what do we got here? About 430 and 575 or so, unless we get some big box office numbers that pushes us through that ceiling, that supply zone up there. And then even if we push through, I'm going to be thinking in my analysis anyways, that some of these guys are probably going to dilute, and that could act as some downward pressure. So as I look at how I'm going to trade it, how I'm thinking about it, until I see something different, that is how I'm thinking about this play. For those of you that are swing trading, you have some zones here to think about. Watch out if it drops below those green zones, and watch out if it pushes through that supply zone up there in red, because you could see some momentary pop for a short period of time above that supply zone. And then I think it'll get whacked back down through the dilution from the convertible bonds. Once that 414 million is plowed through and all of that dilution is done for, then we can kind of reassess what happens next with the support zones, with the supply and demand. Where is it going to level out, having $414 million worth of debt off of the balance sheet? But in addition, you have a little bit more dilution. But we're going to have to wait till we get there for me to give you a definitive answer about that. For those of you that are strictly buy and hold, I know you don't like my analysis, but I do like the buy zones down there in green. Unless we crash through them to the downside, I'm going to be planning to buy in those green zones and hold until the price gets to a point that I'm willing to trade out of it. But again, I just went through my thoughts about where the ceiling is in the short term. It's up to the box office to make me a believer that we can really push much higher than that. I'm only looking at the financials. I'm only looking at the filings. I'm only looking at the box office. And I know that AMC has more debt that they need to tackle. So I am keeping, probably for the rest of this year, my upside potential of where the price could go very unemotional and very realistic. And if I'm wrong, if it soars way past that, that is beautiful and everybody is a winner. And that is absolutely fine with me as well. Let me know your thoughts, your comments, and more importantly, let me know the next 3 movies that you plan to see here in Q3 before the end of September. Thank you for watching. I am Tony Denaro, and I will see ya on the next video.